Day 43, back on the road. And on the Eurovelo 6 here, heading for Pančevo, I think. I've been 2 days in Belgrade and I've had a lovely little time. Decided to take another rest day because the body seemed to be shutting down effectively and taking advantage of a bit of rest and relaxation. So had a really nice time in the hostel Bongo, highly recommended. Very sociable, lots of different nationalities there. Lots of interesting conversations, discussions, and plenty of World Cup football watched as well. So the contrast between the various sections of the Eurovelo 6 is quite amusing actually. I've just come across a very busy stretch of road across the bridge to the north side of the Danube and dumped me out on this little track. So you've really got to relinquish all notion of trying to cover distance at a certain speed. The Eurovelo 6 app, it colour codes the cycle route, and the bit I'm on just now is a dark red, which I think means that it's very slow going or off-road, and the green bits are on the tarmac, so that's actually quite useful information. Something the Serbs and I have in common is our love of bakery items, and chanced upon a really nice pekara bakery in Pančevo, which is about 10k out of Belgrade. Stopped, picked up 3 sizable items. This is a sort of meaty pastry thing. Had another very nice thing with cherry in it. 400 dinners, less than £3. Good feed for lunch with a coffee, and unusually found a bit of a park with some benches and a little poubelle as well. I think this is the best we can hope for in Serbia really. Relatively quiet major roads. The Austrian style cracks in the road have made a reappearance, which is not very fun. Lovely little stop off in Kovin, where I popped into a bar to catch the end of Cameroon-Serbia, which ended 3-3, and had a fantastic hot chocolate. The French could really learn a thing or two from them. Sort of, you know, melted chocolate layered with sort of biscuity crumbs, and a layer of cream on top with various chocolatey items protruding forth from it. Really very good. And inquired about the ferry across the Danube, about 40k on, which apparently is yes. So hoping to get within range tonight so that I can get the first ferry tomorrow 9:30 back to the south side. It's literally the first time since I've been in Croatia and Serbia that I've seen a bit of wild land left not agriculturalised. Lovely contrast to be within the trees here, sheltered out the wind, and something a little bit different. A bit of twilight touring just now. I'm going to try and find a campsite somewhere within reach of the next town, Veliko Gradišti or something, and maybe pop into a bar for some World Cup football and a couple of pints. Would be quite nice. Just crossing a little Danube tributary here, and I think this is the Eurovelo 6 down here, which looks very camping friendly. Just been bouncing along this grassy little raise, and I've found my spot. I think I'm pretty happy. Down by that tree is going to be absolutely ideal. Day 44. I've had not one but 2 failures of equipment last night. The first, predictably, is the ignition here. Oh, it did just click then actually, but then it didn't again. And the second, more serious, is the mat has popped one of its ribs, which happened with the last Exped mat actually, which means that you've got a big bulge right in your bum. Good news, however, is that because the grass is very short and it's been very windy, as you can hear, then the sleeping bag, which is normally quite damp down here, is completely dry. Oh no, it's not. I was going to go and watch the football last night, but I got into my tent probably at 5:15, got a big feed on, had a little nap, and then thought, I am not going anywhere. And probably turned the lights out at 9 o'clock and slept soundly until 6:30. It's about 7:15 now. Just had coffee and a bit of burek, and waiting for the ferry, sort of 9:30 I think, from a couple of k down the road. Here she is, what a little beauty. Just levelling out the ramp here with the old shovel. Who needs a slipway when you've got an earth bank and a shovel? Not an issue. Pretty choppy on the old Danube today. Strong winds from the southeast. Ideal. Viewers, be warned, there is going to be some whinging about headwinds in the next few days, I can assure you. Finally, you get onto the lovely Danube riverside cycle route and you're into a blazing headwind. It's absolutely fierce, granny ring stuff. Well, it's not happened. Back on the Danube after a bit of a Pekara foray. That's Romania over there on the other side. The Danube forming the natural border. And the route looking really nice actually, down towards Golubac. Would prefer the wind on my back, but hey, we are moving forward, most importantly. Here we have the entrance to the Danube Gorge, aka the Iron Gate, guarded by quite a sizable fortress by the looks of it. Very exciting. Classic bit of Serbian cycle path here, taking me up some steps, and it's 56k to Donji Milanovac, which I thought I might make today, but it's 1 o'clock and it's going to be too far with the headwind, so into the gorge. We'll see where we get to. Well, I toiled as far as a place called Dobra on the Danube, and I don't know, 60-70k, and popped in to a place advertising Zimmer rooms, and 10 euros for the night. Here we are, for a nice warm room. 5 euros for dinner. Watch the game tonight. Why not? Why am I camping? Why am I camping when I could do that? Day 45. Just rolled out of Dobra, where I had a lovely overnight stay in a Zimmer, a room there. I was very well looked after, although very embarrassingly I didn't have quite enough money to pay the man, so I came up about 150 dinners short, which is about €1, and tried my very best to get hold of some cash from the local pub, but not a goer. So offered to send the chap some money, but he said no, €1, come on, let's not be silly here. Definitely sensible in these parts to have a bit of emergency cash for these sort of purposes. Did have some euros left over, but changed them all into dinners and then spent them. Next objective, Donji Milanovac, about 30k away. It's going to be very slow progress because headwinds. Nice vistas down the gorge, but the wind is coming straight up it. It's reduced me to a crawl, small ring, 10 miles an hour, putting the watts down, feeling like I'm not going anywhere at all. Hard one, 33k. I'm pretty wet, heading to a calf. Bank first, of course. Finally dragged myself out the calf. Midday, raining, back on the road. This is looking northeast. I've just come round that corner on the left there, and the Danube heads up and does a big loop around to the northeast. And I'm not in the business of going in the wrong direction, so I'm actually turning off to the right and heading south down this way, down the valley, to pick up the Danube in maybe 67, 70 km's time. Climbing slowly south up this wide open valley. It's actually an amazing contrast to have a little bit of elevation and some hills, some bends in the road. Very enjoyable. And actually, once you're out in it and you're a little bit wet, it's not a problem. I'm keeping fairly warm. Must be 4 or 5 degrees. I spent a significant amount of time dawdling in front of the fire thinking about my route to Istanbul, and there's two possibilities really. One is the more northerly route through Romania. Not a whole lot of interest on the way as far as I can see from the map. And the more southerly route is via Sofia and Plovdiv, two fairly big cities. Well, Sofia is the capital, in Bulgaria. And I've opted for the latter for two reasons. The first is that I really want to break up the journey a little bit. It's still 1,000 kilometers to Istanbul. And the second is that the forecast winds are more from the east, and if I head south for the next few days, I'm less likely to get them on the nose. And actually, I think I could only be potentially another 2 days after this one out of Sofia for a bit of Bulgarian culture. Very exciting. I was trying to remember the last time I got stuck into a decent climb, and I'm pretty sure it was the day I had into Graz well over 2 weeks ago, so I'm absolutely loving this. Popping out, I've just come out of the trees on top of what appears to be the Serbian Col. Absolutely no fanfare to this one. Went its way up through the trees, bit of a patchwork quilt of a road. This is looking a little bit better, and ever southward on the descent. Cracking. Just hunkering down in this rather unusual shelter somewhere on the Col, if it is a Col. I don't know if it's a sort of bus shelter or some sort of graveyard type thing. There's all these sort of posters on the wall of people that have come and gone, but nice space for getting dry and getting the brew on. It's been an extremely fruitful afternoon session on the bike. I've been heading south at great speed, remarkably with a light tailwind, which I really didn't expect, and I'm now climbing again over a little col before I descend to a settlement and then a slightly larger one where I might be able to pick up a room. I don't know what they're called because Google Maps is not telling me, and roaming is very expensive, so I don't want to load the page, but find out when we get there. Well, the mystery settlement is the city of Zaječar. Very, very happy. 4:15, great afternoon on the bike. Well, here we are, checking in. Blew the cash tonight, 3,000 dinars, about 25 euros, with breakfast, but look at that bedspread. Not sure what the pillow game is here, but something else I've not seen before is a freestanding toilet. You sort of associate toilets with being up against walls, but not here.